we welcome a distinguished guest who is receiving an honorary degree from the university. I'm pleased to ask Dr. Mark Rawlinson to present Mr. Daniel Katz.
Vice-Chancellor, ladies and gentlemen, Daniel, or Danny, Katz is an internationally renowned art dealer, art collector, and philanthropist who has been dealing in art and supporting a wide range of causes for more than 40 years. He's a world-leading expert on European sculpture and has played a hugely influential role in the development of international and national museum collections, exhibitions, and libraries, as well as supporting a range of crucial programs with museums in the arts and the charity sector. Danny is often described, I apologize, as a phenomenon or an art-dealing genius, but it was not always so. At 18, Danny had no plans to speak of with regards to his career or a university education and was, by his own admission, not up to much. This changed when his parents' business went bust and they made the decision to open a small antique shop in Brighton with their last £2,000. It was 1968. Danny decided to help out at the shop despite not knowing anything about art or its histories, but what he did discover was that if you were lucky, you could buy things for a £5 and sell them for 25 quid. Making money was wonderful, but Danny realised that he was also very much interested in the objects themselves as well as the deal. It was an enthusiasm that led Danny to find a mentor, a local antiques dealer called Michael Travers, and Travers encouraged Danny and introduced him to a world of Persian carpets, Renaissance bronzes, and so much more. And importantly, it opened up a connection to the Victoria and Albert Museum. As will become familiar, Danny needed to know more, much more. Danny immersed himself in the study of Renaissance bronzes at the V&A. A self-professed autodidact, driven by his passion to know everything about everything, Danny turned up at the V&A every day, examining everything. Quote, "I was such a pain in the arse, they let me handle them all." This set the pattern for a depth of knowledge and a passion that is perhaps unrivaled. Danny is not your average gentleman art dealer. With the opening of his own gallery in the 90s, he claims again to have been very lucky, but it is clear from Danny's story that you make your own luck. So starting with what he knew, 19th century bronze sculptures, Danny's gallery expanded into Viennese Secessionism and then antiquities. And this is rare because dealers, like art historians, tend to find a period and specialise, but not Danny. As he says, quote, "You see one thing and you read history and you find out what's going on in one particular country at that time, socially, economically, politically, environmentally, culturally, and you find out that one thing morphs into another field. If you collect Renaissance sculpture, then ultimately you have to look back at the ancient world, which is what they tried to reproduce." This eclecticism is the mark of a restless mind, relentless even, driven by a, quote, "fascination and curiosity with the best things of human endeavour." It speaks to a rich imagination and the desire to know the world and the things in it, and importantly, to share this knowledge and the joy that emanates from it. Of course, Danny has sold many of these objects to individuals and institutions, such as the British Museum and the Louvre. This success in art dealing provides the means which allows generous financial support to many areas of art history, including assisting institutions with acquisitions of important artworks like Titian's Triumph of Love for the Ashmolean Museum in Oxford. He has consistently made the type of gifts which never claim headlines, namely those in support of hidden but crucial infrastructure and activities of museums, such as improvements to services like libraries. Beyond the museum, Danny has a long-standing interest in contemporary dance and supports a number of dance companies. And last but not least, Danny is the principal sponsor of Tourette's Action UK, a charity which gives much-needed support to the medical profession and to those who suffer with Tourette's syndrome and their families. Danny has said, quote, "I find most art history books quite boring. If, like me, you struggle with academic books, find the person who wrote it and take them out to lunch. You're much more likely to learn something." Being an art historian myself and having written a very boring art history book, reviewed on Amazon simply as tedious, you weren't supposed to laugh so much. Danny, I look forward to our upcoming lunch, and anybody else who wants to take me out. Sorry. Joking aside, Danny is onto something here. His career exemplifies principles of curiosity and resilience, combined with a strong desire to support and encourage communication about the art of all cultures. As he says, quote, "I have no taste. I love the best of everything. Every period to me is great, every culture, every period, no matter what it is." Vice-Chancellor, to you and to the whole congregation, I present Danny Katz as eminently worthy to receive the degree of Doctor of Letters, honoris causa.
By the authority of the University of Nottingham, vested in my office, I admit you to the degree of Doctor of Letters, honoris causa. Congratulations, Danny. I now invite Dr. Danny Katz to address the congregation.
Hello. Vice-Chancellor, graduates, I find myself in a rather awkward position here, having never had an education and having left school at 14. And it was a tough road to get to where I've got to in life and achieved a lot of things. But one thing I might say to you graduates that are going through into your life and further enjoying and experiencing things, a lot of people here will have doors open for them because of their degrees and their hard work and determination at this university. Others will have doors perhaps closed and slammed in their faces. I learnt from a very early age that those problems of having doors slammed in my faces through prejudice and ignorance, it learnt me and taught me one thing: try harder. If they say no, that's a good sign. That means I'll try even harder. Never give up. Go forward and go. And one other thing I might say is I'm a curious chap. When I go in a room, I look at everything. Ask questions. Never sit down and just listen. Ask questions and questions and questions and question everything until you find a conclusion that finds it acceptable to yourself. I'm proud to be associated to this university. My life is spent in the arts, but also I've had something called Tourette's syndrome, which you might know of and might not. It's a disabilitating condition that affects people all over the world with tics and disorders. Here at the University of Nottingham, I'm proud to have helped to support a program into advancement of studies into Tourette's syndrome, and the brain imaging and the neuroscience department here is groundbreaking work. It's probably the greatest in the world, and I'm proud to be associated with this university. I feel honored to receive this doctorate. I feel humble because I didn't have the opportunity to go and do what you lovely people have managed to do with these degrees and education. So don't waste it. Don't waste it. Go forth and have a great life. Thank you.